everyone. As we get started here, we're going to take just a second to make sure everything's up and running. All right, we're good to go. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Cass, Operations Manager here at Smallstep. I'm joined today by Phil. And Phil, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure thing. Hello, I'm Phil. I'm a solution engineer here at Smallstep, and my job here is basically to make sure everyone is able to use Smallstep to their fullest and make sure that, all the problems are fixed. So today, hopefully show and walk you through how to get a certificate in under 3 minutes. So one of the shortest webinars that you can probably ever have.
Awesome. Thanks, Phil. As many of you know, Smallstep Certificate Manager recently became generally available. Our goal is to give folks an easy way to start using certificates to own their production identity right from within our UI. So once you have your first cert, there are many more opportunities to secure the entire production from there. If you're able to, take a moment to drop in the chat and let us know how you're using or how you might want to use Smallstep Certificate Manager. For instance, what environment or things are you using are you trying to secure with certificates? What are your ultimate goals? This way we can cover those specific things during this event. Feel free to add questions to the chat as they come up. It's going to be quick, but we'll have Q&A time at the end of Phil's lightning fast get your first TLS certificate with Smallstep. So if you're ready, we're just going to get started. Let's take it away, Phil.
Sure thing. Let me start sharing my screen over here. Perfect. So to get started, we simply just make an account. So up here, I'm on the Smallstep website. We'll throw a link in the chat, I believe. And so I'll click on the sign up. And in here, we'll just make our account. So our team name is effectively our account. So we'll call this demo test 3. I'm going to be clicking here on sign up. And I'm just going to create my actual user. So I'm going to make my name. And then complete my sign up. So now it's going ahead and generating my account, getting everything there set up and ready to go. So I'm just going to close out of this. And now I'm just on the landing page. So this is what you see when you first log in. If you notice here, we have this quick start here, which we are adding Acme and managed device attestation. So those are some of our newer stuff that we're continually rolling out. So this page might change depending on when you look at this for more features. What we're going to do is use this default authority here at the bottom. So I'll click on that. And then I can name this authority whatever I want. This is for my own internal usage. So this could be something that makes sense to you. This could be like, say, a production or a cluster or Kubernetes or whatever you want. I'm just going to use the defaults for the purpose of this demonstration. Click on create. So this is going to go ahead and generate my authorities, my provisioners, all that sort of stuff. This gives me all the information that I need here, such as my fingerprint, which I can use later on if I use like the CLI and stuff like that. I also have these options here for my advanced options. If I wanted to add some additional things, like say I wanted to add an additional SANs or change the different types of authorities. But I'm just simply going to click on this Get Certificate button. It takes me to this authorization page, and it's going to say, hey, are you sure you want to authorize us and allow you to generate a certificate? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to authorize that. And that's it. I'm done. I have my certificates generated here by my authorities. These are valid and perfectly able to use. I'm just going to download those and just verify these. So using my step CLI, which is something that we go through our docs, you can go ahead and validate that these actually make sense and that they are correct. So I'm just going to download those. I'm going to open up my terminal just to do that verification. And if we look at that, that's exactly what I have set up. My subject, my issuer, all my demo test 3. And I can put those wherever I need to in order to have these work. And that's basically it. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. And, we can go through any sort of questions that anyone has, or we can, discuss any other sort of issues.
Awesome. Thanks, Phil. That was fast. So we're going to go ahead and get to some questions. But we do have some that came in from the open source and online community. So I'm going to get us started with those. Are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. So one of the ways a lot of people use Smallstep is to secure Kubernetes with TLS. I think you mentioned that. How do I do this with Smallstep Certificate Manager?
Yeah, that is a great question. That is a very common use case and something that I feel, excel at compared to some of the other tools I've tried. And so it all boils down to basically, what do you want to do? How is this going to work in your system? And for that, it could vary depending on exactly how you have yours set up. And so we actually have a lot of documentation and a lot of information on how you can set it up in various environments. And we have a lot of tutorials and docs. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a link into our docs, or sorry, into our chat over here to our documentation. And we also have some like YouTube videos and tutorials like that, which could make it, help out and show you exactly what you need to do.
I know I'm always grateful for a good tutorial, so I appreciate that documentation. So there's another one here from the community. Why do you use X509 certificates instead of something unique created by Smallstep? Wouldn't that give greater control and the ability to do more?
It would possibly give us greater control for like how we want to actually edit and change and do stuff in our certificates. But the X509 is a standard. And so we wouldn't need to basically convince everyone to use our own individual protocol. We can use these standards that have built up for years, that everyone knows how to accept and how to parse. And we're just expanding and using that existing format for like all these other future use cases and making sure that you don't need to learn a brand new technology. You don't need to learn small step specific stuff. There's so many guides, so much information about X509 in general that you can find all this information at various other places as well. And of course, depending on how you learn and how you absorb this information, some of it can make a lot more sense depending on who's writing that doc.
I can definitely see how using a standard could be more scalable and get you up and running a lot faster. Thanks for that. All right, so I have one more question here. I think I can answer this one, and we get it a lot. I want to do more with Smallstep and be a part of the future of TLS. Can I work for you? So I'm going to go ahead and say the answer is yes. We're always looking for people who want to secure distributed systems and learn with us. We're a fully remote company and work from anywhere in the world. That's one of my favorite parts. We believe in making sure our employees have what they need every day and actively cultivate an environment of creativity and growth. So I'm not sure about you, but when I feel that strong sense of belonging and support, I do much better work. So we're going to drop the link to our careers page in the chat, and we'd love to hear from you. Is there any other questions? I'm going to take a look at the chat here. And thanks, Janessa, for keeping up with the links.
Yeah, like I said, a very fast and quick demo. We've actually added a lot of this functionality really recently, so it was a little more cumbersome for what people who have been doing this in the past, setting up all your CLIs, setting up your environment, setting up your provisioners and authorities, and that does take a long time. Now, just doing it with a few clicks on the UI saves a lot of time for me in my past experience. I would have been happy having this a few years back.
That's awesome to hear. I don't see any other questions. So thank you all for joining us today. And thanks again, Phil, for walking us through that really quick demo of getting our first certificate with Certificate Manager and Smallstep.